Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. In this video, it's just going to be short and sweet, but we have breaking developments that I just want to talk about, I want to share, I want to spread the word. The world is changing, guys. Things are happening, and right now there are developments taking place in the Pacific. Changes happening right now as we speak. Changes not seen since World War II. Changes not seen for 80 years. So stick with me. This is going to be a short and sweet update, but it's very important information, and I want you guys to know what's going on.
On a remote island in the Pacific Ocean, a sprawling U.S. airfield was left largely abandoned. For decades, the 4 runways at the northern edge of Tinian sat empty, swallowed up by the jungle. But now, urgent work is taking place to reclaim them.
The first settlers arrived on Tinian Island thousands of years ago. Those initial settlers built very interesting looking stone structures all over the island. These structures are known as taga. As you fast forward through the pages of history, you'll see that Tinian is no stranger to colonial powers. The small island was colonized by the Spanish, the German, and then the Japanese. The story of the island of Tinian is very interesting in and of itself. In the Battle of Tinian, which took place in World War II, much blood was shed, and after a lot of death and destruction, including the use of napalm bombs by U.S. forces against their Japanese adversaries, the United States secured the strategically located island. Immediately after seizing the island from Japanese control, the U.S. built a massive airbase on the island. The Japanese had already built some runways and things on the island, but it wasn't enough. The U.S. took that and built more, built upon it, built more, developed it, expanded it, and this island was used extensively in World War II. And in fact, the 2 atomic bombs that the US dropped on Japan, which forced them to surrender, were loaded onto the very B-29 bombers right there on Tinian Island. After World War II, the islands, while still under US control and still used on occasion, didn't see a whole lot of action. Many of the runways were overgrown with vegetation, a whole lot of vegetation. And in the decades following World War II, Tinian started to garner some level of attention for tourism, especially amongst history buffs. Things have changed now, however. The US military is clearing off the old overgrown runways and getting them back into functional condition. The vines, the trees, it's all being cut down. The dust is being wiped off the island of Tinian, and it is being summoned back to duty. Last time, it was used in large part as a base of operations in battles against Japan. The atomic bombs dropped on Japan forced them to surrender, which came as a godsend to their neighbor, China, being that Japan not only committed some of the worst atrocities against China known to man during World War II, but also created their own short-lived illegitimate state in the northeast of China, a puppet state of the Empire of Japan called Manchukuo. I actually have some videos about that on my channel. I've traveled to various places in that exact region and produced some videos showing the remnants of Imperial Japan right here in mainland China. I'll put some of those links in the comments below if you're interested in watching those videos. So, looking at this historically, the United States' use of Tinian Island came as a huge help and benefit to China in the mid-1940s. Isn't it crazy how times can change? Because this time around, it is literally because of China that the US is bringing Tinian back to service. The issues in the South China Sea and the issues regarding Taiwan are ones that seem to be a likely flashpoint for a major war, possibly even a world war, with the US mainly pitted against China in the coming years. Based on the direction that things seem to be going, the US is strategically planning their line of defense and options for attack from the second island chain, and Tinian is set to be of great strategic importance should these hostilities break out. A site in a remote part of the Pacific that was fought over and put to use during World War II and has since largely remained quiet and calm, is now, roughly 80 years later, being awoken from its slumber as tensions in the region rise and war, once again, seems, by most at least, to be on the horizon. How near or far, it's impossible to say. But from what I can see, it seems to be steadily drawing nearer. Like most of you, I sincerely hope it can be averted. Surely we humans, as evolved creatures, can find a better way. Or can we?